Hi guys, it's Marcia. Welcome back to my channel. Today we will be creating this sprinkle stencil. I will be telling you the differences that I would change now that I've printed it. Let's jump right in. I will be using Cricut Design Space to create the stencil. So I need to update, unfortunately, my design space. However, it's the same procedure. If you don't have it and you want to jump right in and get it, just go to their website, download it. It's going to look exactly like this, so don't panic. And then we're going to have the same screen for sign in or creating an actual Cricut account. This will pop in, click sign in. And here you have the option to sign in if you already have an account, which I do. Or you can create your brand new account. Enter your email, password, name, your telephone number. Of course, choose your country. And then click agree, but first read the terms and conditions. And then click create Cricut ID if you're just starting out. If not, just sign in like you usually do. You will be directed to a promo page if you don't have an active subscription. I don't. I usually use Cricut Design Space just to make life easier for myself. I don't use Canva to create my stencils. I use this program. You can sign up. And now we're going to create a new project. However, I just want you to take a look. Here are things that they suggest for me. Then there's projects that you can create, things that other makers have made, and so forth. So now let's just jump right in. Click new project under your name and a blank canvas will appear. Save. We haven't started anything, so we can't save anything. My stuff, explore, and here's our menu to our left-hand side. New, templates, projects, shapes, images, text, monogram, and upload. We will be choosing shapes today. I will be choosing the round edge square for this purpose, for today's purpose. Automatically, it imports that shape as a 2x2. I want a 5x5. No, 5.5 by 5.5. And then I want handles on this stencil. So I'm going to go back into shapes. And here, all these above included in subscription are free. So I'm going to use this rectangle one. I'm going to copy and paste. I want two handles on the left and on the right. So now we're going to click the image and drag outside. And you're going to see that rounded arrows. You're going to click that to rotate your image. I want 90 degrees, and that's what I did. I also want it larger. So you click any one of the corners and just drag down to expand. If you want it to be smaller, you're going to drag in. Drag out for expanding, drag in for shortening. And again, we did the same thing. We rotated our right-hand side handle. And here I completely forgot. Of course, you can tell that I haven't used this in a little bit. I put it on top and I was trying to aim for the same size, forgetting that right there, as you click on any of the images, it gives you the size. And I remembered at that moment. So I'm going to shrink this to 4.65 by 3.1. Once we have that, I'm going to drag my middle square to the top for the ruler guide. And then I'm going to position the handles. And here we are. Okay, now that I have that there, I am going to position each handle. Once I do that, I'm going to count horizontally each line and then vertically each line so that I can position the handles exactly the same, opposite one another. Once we do that and have that, and I've counted everything, we are going to make these 3 objects. So if you look on your right hand side, you can see that there's 3 objects. And every time I click on one, it highlights. Once I have this completely where I want it, we are going to click outside of these objects and drag our box to capture each item. We're going to hit weld. And now it's become one item. So if you click on it, you're going to see on your right hand side, it's just one item. So from here, we're going to leave this alone. We're going to create our stencils. Again, I'm going to pick objects above included with subscription, and I'm going to choose this heart. Now we're going to change the color so that we can actually see it on the actual stencil foundation. I'm going to resize this, and I resize it to 0.56. Actually, it should be more like a 0.3 or 4 in my opinion. I like the size that I printed, but I think it could have went smaller for more of that sprinkle feel. Once we have the size we want, we are actually going to copy and paste. And don't worry about aligning it correctly and, counting horizontally or vertically. We're going to use the align tool, which is going to make this step much easier, unlike trying to put the handles onto the square. So just bring them over. I think I can fit 2 more. Let's try these. Fit 1 or 2 more, but let's see. Click outside, drag the box over everything that you want to weld together. Let go, go up top to align. Click distribute horizontally so it gives us even spacing, and then align to the top so it's now one straight line. We are going to paste 1 more. We can actually fit 1 more. Once again, click outside, go to align, distribute horizontally, and then 1 more time, align to the top. It's one straight line, and I believe this is as many as I can fit within. We're going to click, we're going to make sure that everything is highlighted, and then we're going to click weld by clicking on the square and circle at the bottom. Now that that fits correctly, we're going to copy and paste. Let's see how many I can fit here. 1. Okay. 2. I think we can fit 4 more now that I see the 3 on the stencil foundation. So let's just paste 4 more. Sorry, my dogs are outside and they're barking if you hear them. Make sure that when you click, you drag at the same time. If you happen to click and not drag, it's going to resize the items that you have chosen. Here we're going to do the exact same thing. We're going to align everything. And go to align. We have clicked on everything. Everything is highlighted. Distribute horizontally, distribute vertically to make sure that everything is in line. And here we're going to pick align to the left. Now that everything is looking good, we're going to weld it together and make it one. And these are my dogs playing around now, if you can hear them in the background. Okay, so now we're going to take and we're going to again align this. So we're going to choose both items, align, and center. We want it directly in the center. Now that we have this, we are going to slice it. When you remove the foundation, you should be able to see the white and the black hearts. We're going to delete this. We no longer want that. And now we're going to screen grab, or screenshot it. Save your project, screenshot this, and we're going to move on to our next software, which is Canva Pro. We are going to make a 7x7-inch box, and we're going to upload our file, our screenshot. And I'm using Canva Pro because I want to remove the background. If you look at the image at the moment, what you see is little lines from our previous canvas, and I want to delete that, and I want to also download it as a PNG. So we're going to click background remove at the top, and in order to make sure that everything was removed, you click on the white box and change the color. And there we go. Now it's our PNG file. We're going to give it a name, and it automatically saves once you give it a name. So then we're going to click share, and we're going to click on transparent background and verify that it says PNG. Download it. Now we're going to move on to our next software, which is free. You're going to go to PicSVG. You're going to upload this saved image, our PNG file from Canva Pro. You're going to import it into the software, and it's going to give you an original. So here's our original, and here's the one that they're converting into a SVG. We want to change it to look exactly like our file. So we're going to click on details, and we're going to click on strong. Then we're going to click filter and internal 2. You can choose internal 1, 2, or 3, and it's going to look exactly like our file. Once we have that, we can proceed. Okay, I hit preview. You don't have to. You can just download it. Just wanted to make sure that it looked exactly like my image. Hit download SVG. Here we're going to use Fusion 360. I have an Ender 3. That's my printer, so I have to use my Fusion 360. If you don't have it, I hope you can actually follow along. So here, this is our menu. Usually I only use insert for canvas, which is what I'm using now. I have a box, which I usually resize that to use and gauge what size I want whatever I'm importing into the software. I'm going to click on top here. I'm going to click on the actual board, and then I'm going to expand or resize this slightly bigger. It's not going to give you the correct dimensions. It's just for reference. In order to get the correct dimensions for our stencil, I'm going to click on canvases, then click box, calibrate by right clicking, click 1 point at the top, 1 point at the bottom, and here I'm going to give it the measurement of 5.5 inches. And that's our size. Now that we have this, we're going to insert our SVG file. Here it is. Open. You're going to click the board again. And here we're going to take the square. That's how you're going to click inside the square. That's how you're going to actually move the object. And we're going to try to expand it or resize it to make it bigger. And the way you do that is by clicking that round edge. Once you have it close to the 5.5 or whichever size you want, if you pick something smaller, if you pick something even larger, you're going to use that rounded edge in between the two arrows and behind the box to resize it to the best of your ability. Once you have it where you want it, you're going to click inside the box and you're going to drag it and center it. Once you've done that, okay, once you've positioned your stencil where you want it, I want it towards the center, you're going to click Finish Sketch. We're going to go and delete our square. We no longer need that. We want to resize this or expand it. And then we're going to take the little hand to center it. I used a wheel on my mouse to expand it before. Now we want to extrude this. In other words, convert it into a 3D object. Once you click on the stencil itself, it's going to highlight. A box will appear, and here's where you're going to punch in the numbers. You don't have to click on the top side view. I just wanted to show you in this visual how it looks once you start resizing this. And I put in 1.3, but I think it should be 1.6 or 1.75. I think it's too thin at 1.3. Here, I want to hide sketch 1, which is just the image. And I just want to work on our stencil. I want to name our stencil, so I'm going to take the wheel on my mouse to enlarge it. I want to add text. I'm going to put the box here, but since I can't get to the other corner, I have to hide this menu. Once you click, your box will appear. You're going to punch in the name of your cookie cutter or your sprinkle stencil. Make sure it's bold. Make sure it's aligned in the middle and center. Once you have that, now we're going to explode the text. So as it's highlighted in blue, you're going to right click and click on explode. If you click on each letter, you can't grab each letter. So you have to either hit Command or Shift on your computer and then click inside of each letter. Don't forget the little dot for the eye. Once you have each letter selected, we are going to extrude it. You can right click on the letter, extrude again. I'm going to do a side view for you so you can see it. And then in the box, I'm actually going to extrude it at 0.3. Again, I would change that. Now that I've printed this stencil, I would actually go to maybe 0.6, 0.75. I like it a little bit taller. I don't like it so thin, but it is extruded. So as you can see, it's added onto your stencil. Here we go. We have our first stencil. And here you can see, but this, it looks higher than it actually is. It's really thin in my opinion. Maybe you might like that. You can leave it like that, or you can actually take my suggestions and make it slightly bigger. If I do another stencil, I'll probably go with bigger, increase the numbers. Now we're going to export our file, name it, and we're going to choose type. The type is important. It should be STL. Export. And now we are going to go and cut it. Get it ready with its G code so that the 3D printer can read it. Now, again, I have an Ender 3. So this is the software for it. I don't know what printer you have and what software you have, but I hope you can follow along. Now that you have the STL file, just import it. I'm going to click the top of the cube so you can see it. There you go, top view. And you're going to save it to a removable SD card that you're going to put in your printer. I hope you found this video useful. I hope it helped at least one of you. So if it did, give us a like, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to click that notification bell. See you soon.